What stops you from healing? That is a $1 million question, and I'm sure that you would love to have the answer to it, and if you did, you wouldn't be watching this video. So I actually invite you to answer that question in the comments below, because I would love to hear what you think the reason is why you haven't healed or solved your problem yet. Hi, my name is Stephanie, and I am a mind training coach, and I work with people all over the world, helping them use the power of their mind to heal and thrive. So why haven't you healed yet? Why haven't you solved that one problem that you still have? To me, the answer is simple. If you stuck to the right formula long enough, then you would heal. What is the right formula? Well, that is the $1 million question. And how would you know that that is the right formula? I can only look at the data that I have and my own life. And here's how I figured out how to heal, but also to teach other people to do exactly that. The problem when you are sick or stuck is that you easily give your power away and you listen to an expert that tells you something that you start to believe in. Sometimes that information and that advice is great, and then you see some evidence of it working, which is phenomenal. But other times you do what the expert tells you without getting any evidence of you actually changing or healing, and yet you keep doing the same thing over and over again, hoping that it would eventually yield different results. Here's how that applies to my own life. Back in 2019, I stopped working because I was suicidal, I had been diagnosed with trauma, and I couldn't work or exist in my own skin anymore. I was really sick. I spent 1 year learning everything I could find about thoughts and emotions. I read tons of books, and I spent my time calming down my nervous system. Eventually, I learned how to meditate, and I started to do that religiously. And it helped to a certain extent because I loved the meditations eventually. Not at the beginning, because it was really hard. Why? Because it's hard for everyone. Because if you are living with an untrained mind, like the rest of the world population, then it's gonna take a while before you train that mind into a state where it's starting to work the way it's supposed to work. The mind is not supposed to be an erratic place where you hate being. It's supposed to be peaceful and light, but only if you train it into that state. And I realized as I was meditating that that wasn't enough, because the meditation in and of itself felt great. But then I opened my eyes and I was back in chaos, confusion, deep fear, thinking, what the hell is happening to me? What should I do? And I spent a couple of years in that state where nothing changed and I got worse. And it was just panic after dread, after shame, after guilt, all the negative emotions. And I couldn't go on like that because it was not working for me. I did a lot of experiments, and those experiments, i.e. relying on meditation completely, showed me that this experiment is failing, because you should see some sort of evidence from your efforts if this is guiding you in the right direction. That is how I interpreted that situation, which is when I started to take matters into my own hands. I had no idea what I was doing, but I had guidance, and I listened to my gut feeling, and I did things that made me feel better. and one thing led to another. And I started to develop a formula that worked because I started to feel better. I could see direct correlations between what I was thinking and what was happening. So that was something that told me that I was right on track. That was evidence, just the kind of evidence that I needed. Mind you, I did this for many years. I didn't try it for a month or two and then decided that it was a failure and that I should give up. No, I had decided that I was going to figure things out, no matter how long it took and what I would have to do to get there. And eventually I did figure it out because my entire life has changed since then, but it was because I wasn't going to accept a shitty experience or negative feedback or a symptom as evidence of me failing, because that is not what it means. And if you haven't healed yet, chances are that you've given up on yourself way too fast, or that you keep doing the same thing over and over again while it's not really working, but still hoping that something would happen. And that is probably not going to change. You have to change. You ask me, what should I change? Good question. Change your thinking. That is always where the solution is. But that is also where the problem is. The solution and the problem cannot be in different places. And when that truly sinks in, then things will change and you will get evidence of it. Here's a disclaimer. When that evidence shows up, there is a high chance that you dismiss it, saying, that didn't matter, that's nothing. And then you go back to feeling sorry for yourself, thinking that nothing is working. This is what I see over and over again with my students. Nobody wants to fail, but people don't believe in their own power either. And that is a problem. And if you truly want to heal and change, then I recommend that you download my Mind Training Bible through the link below, because your expectation of what should happen and what change looks like is completely irrational. You expect a massive healing like that from nowhere when you don't even believe in it. So in some way, you have to find a way to build up your confidence and your belief in what's possible. And you're not going to do that in a day or two. It takes time and it's completely doable. Start today. Start changing your mind. Use my Mind Training Bible and take it from there. It works, but you have to show willingness and do your part. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and like this video if it was helpful to you. And I would love to know what you think is the reason that you haven't healed and changed yet. So please leave your comments in the comment section, and I look forward to hearing from you. Sending you so much love, as always.